What is happening is something Nigerians have already predicted, have already foreseen, and some of them have foreseen that this administration doesn't have that competence to drive some certain policies, that will see Nigeria rise economically to a certain level first, then before moving to the next level. But there's one thing we need to understand: how we get to this level of having somebody like Tinubu. Look at what Sule Lamido said recently. He said Tinubu is an emperor, that it will be very difficult to unseat him. What does that mean? That possibly the man has bought the entire Nigeria completely. So if somebody is being seen as an emperor and is in the position of a president, what Lamido is trying to tell is that completely Nigeria has given up. So we are in for trouble. We are in for a lot of things, economically and otherwise. If you see what is playing out gradually, you notice that our foreign reserve, got massively depleted by one, excessive borrowing, two, because of the non-productive economy. That is, we are not running a productive society. That is true. Then the issue of foreign reserve. Then the issue of some of CBN policies, that at the end of the day made everything look as if Nigeria has completely lost it. That Okonjo-Iweala was trying to make a certain statement recently, where he was trying to tell the Nigerian that it is time to look inwards and fix Nigeria so that Nigeria will not definitely collapse. The collapse he was talking about is about the economic policies. Let's believe that Tinubu is likely going to sack some ministers or rejig his
NNPC military served under Buhari and also is still under Tinubu's regime. He has not sacked him. Tinubu is the Minister of Petroleum. Will he sack himself?
No, I'm not. They've already adopted that ministry because of what is already on ground. And look at what Atiku said recently, that Atiku said it. Then one Galalo, I think one of the northern elders also made that statement that there's a certain moves being made by the presidency themselves to buy up oil heads. Oil heads. I think they might use that word, oil heads. That oil heads there means that he is definitely going to take over oil well. And I can tell you categorically clear that there were some certain elements associated with him who are proxies of certain oil companies, that is being alleged that belong directly to Tinubu. So it will be very difficult at this point in time for people not to actually notice it. The men at that level knows what is happening. They know the certain moves the man is making to finally, cage Nigeria. And look at what the Northerners said, that the Tinubu's administration is being surrounded by his kinsmen. What does that mean? That in preparation of what is going, this is not about economic revival. Tinubu is not there for economic revival. Tinubu is not there to fix Nigeria. Tinubu is not there, for the betterment of the masses. Tinubu is there for a reason. There's a reason why he picked a vice president as Muslim. There's a reason he did that. So, but by the time those things start playing out, Nigerians will understand, what they are in for. And the North too should start preparing, because it will get to a certain point, nobody will tell you what to do. Since the military is looking the other way, in an economic situation like this where everything is almost dead, the military are still watching. What does that tell you? It tells you, by positioning his men in certain areas, Tinubu is in for a certain agenda that has not really been disclosed. What makes the military not intervene at this point in time tells people, a lot of things to, begin to reason. Nigeria has collapsed. You can see what is happening everywhere. The funniest thing is that the crude oil they are talking about is here in Nigeria. How come we consistently?
It's not in America.
We consistently have, I remember that for the past how many years, over 60 years plus or thereabout. Let me just put it that way. NNPC has never been audited. NNPC has never accounted for all the
transactions going on
till today. So anybody that comes, any president that comes to Nigeria will tell you want to be petroleum minister. Anybody, I know that there are certain people who served under Buhari that is still in this administration.
Many of them.
Like the secretary to the federal government.
Is still there.
Most of them are there. Nigeria doesn't know what they are, what is happening, but some people know what is happening.
Many of them.
No, by the time they begin to do this thing to a certain level, they finally get to a point where the northern Nigeria economic value has collapsed. Then a pastor has already predicted it, that there's going to be an uprising, and that uprising is going to start from the north. And you can look at this morning newspaper publication. You saw what the northerners are saying, that he has surrounded himself with his kinsmen. Well, that is the Tinubu in that direction. So economically, I don't think that Tinubu at this point in time will be able to, carry out any kind of policy that will see Nigeria, return back economically.
The cost has on 300 naira as a petrol price. What should Nigeria? How can we cope?
Bros, there's nothing to do at this point in time. They've told you already that he's an emperor. His tyrannic policies, it has been felt by almost all Nigerians, except those who are in the looting class with him. It's everywhere. So the moment we understand this, then we are supposed to know what is going to happen in the future. From what we are getting, from the indices we are getting, I don't think Nigeria is going to recover from this for a very long time. Coupled with, so much borrowing, loan from different countries, that has continued to. That means the World Bank has continued to, run their policies on Nigeria. The World Bank has continued, the IMF has continued to run their policies in Nigeria. Look at what the young man in Burkina Faso did. He shut down anything that has to do with IMF and World Bank in that country, and decided that whatever he's going to do economically and otherwise, he's going to breed it from Burkina Faso. It becomes a collective responsibility. But in Nigeria here, they are preferably the feudal agenda, and from the north, is romancing the feudalists here in the west, and they are driving towards a particular thing. Unless it gets to the point that the north will feel it so much that they want to revolt. But for an Igbo man, no, we cannot to struggle. We cannot to struggle. We are not okay. That's the truth. Because everybody goes to the market. We are not okay. But the fact is that at this point in time, nobody is expecting any Igbo man to rise against anything called Tinubu government. No. We're not going to do that. So what we're going to do is to continue to, struggle in the midst of uncertainty until things fall completely apart. That is just it. Then when we get to that level, then I will not be the one to tell you what to do. You will not be the one to tell me what to do. The circumstances that surround everything will tell every race, every tribe, every region of what to do at the end of the day. So the fact is that you see the reason why the northern Nigeria want Jonathan back. There must be a reason why they came out and said, preferably Jonathan should come in, that Tinubu is likely going to do a first time. But I can tell you that Tinubu is not going to accept that kind of a theory of being a one-term president. Tinubu will not accept that. if it comes to that level and becomes a threat to his second-term ambition, the guy will ignite an agenda that will finally dismantle Nigeria.
You promised that the refinery, Port Harcourt refinery, will work August.
Yes, I'm hopeful. No, that's the fact. No, yeah, bros, it might not. You see, they have gotten to a certain level, and I think they need to formalize this distribution aspect and logistics. The same thing is going on with Dangote refinery. The Kaduna, some of these refineries are modular refineries. I think if that's what Okonjo-Iweala is saying. That's what so many economic experts are saying. They should, a kind of empower those oil to refineries owned by politicians abroad, and they still go there and buy. Look, can you imagine? See how much the NNPC is saying, they are owing or what? Can you imagine that kind of amount of money?
$5 billion.
Can you imagine? It tells you a lot of things. A lot of things. So the question is who is holding, what is making indigenous refineries in Nigeria not to work? And we're having a Tinubu administration who is a Southerner, who is supposed to be more sophisticated, in terms of leadership, in terms of knowledge, in terms of policy implementation. But it happens, look like, everywhere is just on upside down. So we have seen the level of Tinubu's competence in terms of trying to manage Nigeria. That, we have seen it. It is obvious. And I don't think even his own people want to, give kudos to him presently, unless maybe there is something, the government is driving out that we, ordinary citizens, are not seeing. But at that level of leadership, we should be able to judge by, the economic factor.
They will give him kudos
on daily basis. And what is the economic factor? You went and floated naira. You did a lot of somersault. You're not sure. You trial and error. You came with floating of naira. From floating of naira, you went to issue of forex. From issue of forex, you went to CBN. All these things and all of them, at the end of the day, have not been able to have a clear direction, or pointing where these Tinubu's economic policies are actually heading to. So we are in for one chance. Let me just put it that way. Nigerians are in for one chance, and they have to bear it. Maybe like the Deji Deniyu Award, yes, was saying, maybe they should arm themselves next time with their votes. Maybe, if possible, but I'm sure I can tell you.
When you say next time, you say 2027?
Yes, because that's the only time, because it has gone to that level of chaos. The only thing they can use, as a weapon against this administration is to, wait till 2027, when, of course, when they are going to use their votes to decide what happens to Nigeria. But I am not happy with the kind of opposition we have in Nigeria. What kind of opposition do we have in Nigeria?
what did they want to
The PDP seems to be nothing to write home about. The AP, the Labour Party, seems, that's why when Lamido have finally assessed those things completely, he said that this man is an emperor. And stopping him 2027 will be extremely difficult, because the opposition parties are not really active the way it's supposed to be. So there must be some wrong way. You can imagine somebody like Wike, who is in PDP, serving,
Interest of APC.
serving in APC government, and it's in PDP. And PDP that have no courage, they don't have that courage, to muster to the political will, to checkmate Wike's excesses, to the extent that he told the governors, clearly that he will cause crisis in their respective states if they refuse to hand over River State to him. That's what
audacity.
That is true. That means it looks like God selected these men and put them in one bus for them to teach Nigeria how to be a Nigerian. That's the way I see it, because they have to learn from this. See, there's something Nigerians need to understand very clearly. If they actually want this nation, they should be able to sit up and know what to do. But this is democracy, even though we know we are not practicing democracy. Those people you are seeing in the Senate and the House of Rep, are they not representative of the people? Are they representing poverty or prosperity? What is the essence of being in a democratic setting where the masses themselves, source of living, economic life, is quite unpredictable? It calls for a serious re-examination of this entity called Nigeria. And that is why you see, I know that Igbo man, the Igbo man factor, or an average Igbo politician, cannot be factored into all these things very well because of the kind of thing that is currently or have been playing out politically in Nigeria. Not that Igbo man does not understand Nigerian politics. Igbo man understand Nigerian politics. And if they don't, well, that will be a lot of things left for them, to take decision on. Because I do not see every time and now, whatever that is, the Igbo politicians take leftovers from Abuja. After they have decided all, they will take the scrums, and go and struggle how to, share it. If not for the resilient spirit of Igbo people, I wonder what Igbos would have been by now. They are not there in the political circle, currently now. Even at that point of trying to push themselves into the political circle, you can see what the revelation that is coming from the north, that they will even prefer Jonathan coming back instead of an Igbo man.
Don't forget that Edo State is under threat by the APC. Tinubu promised Edo State, APC Edo State, and this is September 21st.
Yes, let me tell you. No, I've witnessed Edo election for some time. I started experiencing Edo election right from the days of Adams Chomole, then Obaseki himself. I was there present. I understand some things, even though where I was coming from Nzeyamo's camp. But not that I was working for him, but that was where I found myself. But somehow I came close to Obaseki. I discovered something about Obaseki. Obaseki is a silent achiever. Even though his record of performance in Edo State currently now is still being reviewed, by some people who feel that he would have done better than what it is today. But from what we are getting from Monday, I think what legacy Obaseki has left for Edo people, is that justice, that's justice and that spirit of fair play, by zoning that governorship seat to a zone that has not experienced, that have not tested it before. That one alone, for me, I give him kudos. Then on a normal political field operations, where we are going to have different political parties and thereafter, I am believing that Obaseki might spring a surprise that minute. You can see what the court did recently, so the APC guy is still very much armed legally, to pursue his cause at that election. Then the APC man, in the host, I think he should be able to, roll up his sleeves very well and know that, the battle is not for the lily-livered. Then talking about Olumide Apata, a former NBA chairman. Well, Edo State election for me is going to be very interesting. It's going to play out in a way that will surprise a lot of people. Though we have seen some negative propaganda coming up, from different quarters, or in that. Of course, that's what it should be when we get to election moment like this, or election era like this. Where a lot of parties are struggling to cling. If that's politics for you, we shouldn't look the other way, as make it look as if there's something fantastic about Edo State. But he left for the Edo people to decide who is going to.
Remember, APC has the backing of the president.
The backing of the president, like he did before, Edo no be Lagos. You know how the slogan started, and that slogan defeated Tinubu. I believe that slogan is going to run that Emiloko concept in Edo State completely down. Let me tell you. Oga, let me tell you about Shaibu. Bros, let me tell you about Shaibu. You understand? Right from his days in the West in the North, when he became the NAS president and thereabout, you know, Shaibu, that minute, played a very bad politics. He used to be somebody, you know, I see from the spiritual union, which he played a major role when he was in school and after school. You know, he's a comrade, understood, and he has enjoyed government. He was a member of House of Rep. He was deputy governor under Oshomole and under Obaseki. So he has enjoyed government patronage. You know, so at that level that he refused to accept reality and justice, you know, made Obaseki to decide and position him where he is now. He's only going to struggle for some time, you know, and that will relax him politically a bit. And the same thing I'm telling you now is the same thing that's going to happen to Wike. He feels that, you know, they are coming with different factors, you know, to dismantle PDP. That's what they are trying to do, you know. So when they found out that PDP is nothing to write home about, he will quickly jump to APC. I think we can still have a presidential ambition, because if he fail to get it in PDP, he's already eyeing APC. That's the factor. But let me tell you, the masters themselves are still watching where the game is on. In Edo State, we will be in for